Welcome back to How Are You Now?
Good and you?
Not so bad. Deadly. I'm Dean, and that is
Tiara.
And we're here today with Chris Churchman. Chris is my, I guess he would be my cousin-in-law.
Sure.
I guess so. Yeah.
Step neighbor-in-law. It's I
kind of pseudo son-in-law because you kind of were dad to Kelly for a while there.
In a way, yeah. Kind of in a way, sort of. Yeah, a little bit. How are you, Chris?
Not so bad, and you?
Good, and you?
Not so bad.
So, Chris, you're one of the ones of our friends and family who did not get turned on to Letterkenny because of us.
True story. Woo!
So,
that's true.
Tell us your Letterkenny story.
Oh man, I'm gonna go full hipster on this. I was a fan of Letterkenny before it was a show.
Yes.
Yep. Huge hockey player. Everyone at work knows this. Back when I was a full-time kind of civilian/military, and so I just kind of saw this video pop up on Facebook: hockey players versus farmers, and I saw it. And then probably for the next 3 months, no one would let me go by a day of work without seeing this video. Like, hockey player, watch this. And I go, "Yep, I saw it." And it's the one time I'm glad the hockey players didn't win because I was just laughing my ass off. And then I found out they were going to make a TV show, and I found I went on YouTube and I had to find more. I found the Letterkenny problems. I found the hockey PR relations 101. I love these guys so much. So I found out they were making a show, and I'm like, how do I get this? I found it was only on Crave, so I was trying to get online and fake a Canadian address just to get it.
Same.
Yeah.
And then came across a friend who acquired it. Taught me how to acquire it as well. Yeah. And I added it to my hard drive, and we were on our way to Afghanistan in 2014. And I kind of had it on my phone. I was watching on the plane right over there. We landed in Canada in Newfoundland, and we're in the airport. I'm like, guys, you got to see this show. And I started playing it, and I got all my maintainer buddies. I started watching it and got myself a hard drive. They're all like, hey, can we steal that from you? And I was like, yeah, sure. Here you go. And then, it was just every time it would come out, I was like, I've got to have it. I turned my brother on. My wife's gotten into it slowly but surely. I keep, every time I meet someone new, I'm like, hey, if we're going to be friends, you have to be down with this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
most of our friends understand. Like, if I say something that they don't know, they're like, is that a Letterkenny thing?
Oh, even
probably.
Today at work, even today at work, my friends, they haven't really gotten into it yet, but I showed them a scene from today's episode, and we're just kind of goofing around at work, and he's like, I will strike you, and you keep going like, do you want to get striked?
Yes! I love that. I love that. Do you want to get striked?
And of course, me and the wife, and like I said, Kelly doesn't watch it that often, but she's in the room right now, so if I said, well, to be fair. So she's down with some of the inside jokes.
Oh yeah,
it's like a cult. Let's be honest here.
Do you want to get striked?
It really is. I mean, it's not a huge following, but the following is very passionate.
Yeah,
oh my gosh!
I think a lot of my friends who got into it really because of this episode, because of the steak scene.
Yeah.
So, and we'll get to that. So,
who hasn't seen that video floating around Facebook?
Right. So yeah, welcome to the show, and we hope you have a good time while you're here. So let's kind of, as we do, we'll do a recap of the last show, which was the relationships episode. And I don't know if you caught up on that one at all. Now these shows came out in December of 2016, so it's they've been around a while, but we're kind of going through.
Mm-hmm.
So the relationships episode, we learned about Dan likes some attentions paid to his buttholes,
and he's willing to try other things too.
Hey, who doesn't?
Exactly. Right? Wayne goes on a few dates, Goldilocks and the 3 dates. And
yeah.
Let's see. What else do we get into there?
Stuart and Katie broke up.
Stuart and Katie broke up. It was heartbreaking. It was a very emotional episode.
No, it wasn't. She's just like, yeah, no, we're done.
All of Glenn's job changes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Glenn is just, he's burning the candle at 5 ends. So, he's got to be able to pay for Jenny to stay over here.
And I love that you brought that up, because in today's episodes, it's the first time we hear Jenny referred to since the season
Very
1,
true.
episode 1.
Yeah.
And then Stuart gets back with the skids. So that's where we ended off the season. Everybody was kneeling to Stuart. Stuart's back as a leader. And so then we start off this episode. They're out in the bush picking stones. And
What is picking stones? Why do you pick stones?
well, this is for a farm, you would pick stones because if you have cattle and things like that, or horses, any livestock, they might trip and injure themselves on stones. Or if you're out farming and you're trying to plant things, there's lots of reasons why you might pick stones.
No.
If you're growing up on your mom's farm and you got to mow the lawn, you don't want to send that sucker flying.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of different reasons that you may pick stones on a farm. I don't think they have any livestock out there aside from the dogs. So
Nothing that they've referred to, but
Yeah.
they call it the farm and they got lots of produce out there. So you know
I'm guessing they're planting things. So that's probably why they're picking stones. So it doesn't interfere with whatever the produce they're growing is.
Yeah.
So as they're picking stones, Wayne decides he has to inform everybody that,
get something off his chest.
he has to tell something that,
I seen Stuart's horn.
so Stuart was coming out of the bathroom butt naked
For some god-awful reason.
For some god-awful reason. And
First off, that's house guest 101. You don't do that.
Right?
You don't walk around their house naked.
Right.
yeah, even if you're the boyfriend of the sister.
Well, and apparently they never got naked together, so why would you do that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but Katie runs around mostly naked.
But she does that in public.
See, I think it's one of those. Stuart's one of those guys, like, he can't come out and ask for things. So he's going to do it sly. So he's like, I'll just come out and maybe she'll see me by accident.
Yeah. I believe that, actually. I believe that.
Yeah, that's an interesting proposal. I mean, that, he was hoping. It's interesting theory. We could put there. We can discuss that at the end there.
Yeah, and if you jump a little forward in that conversation, you might actually think that it would have worked if Katie had seen it.
Oh yeah.
Because she was very caught off guard.
Because they want to know more and more about it. Katie wants to know about it, and then at the end, Wayne says,
There's such a thing as too much horn talk, and a fellow ought to be fucking aware of it.
you just don't want to talk about a guy's horn too much. I mean,
the 1 liter water bottle was the thing.
the
I was
deflated
like,
football.
holy shit.
Looked like
I love it when he described it as a tennis ball can.
Yes.
And then add on the qualifier a 4-pack.
So Stuart's packing, obviously.
Apparently.
We jump
Good for Stuart.
But
good. Yeah, good for Stuart.
But there's also in one of the things where when Katie was trying to like wrap her brain around it, when she's like, like guys who have really big frames and they still have a big penis, but because they're so big, it doesn't,
The perspective.
And Swirly Dan's like, have you been reading my diary? Fucking love that. It was such a throwaway. I missed it the first couple of times. And then the last time I went through it right before we got on this call, I was like, oh shit, I need to write that down because that's so fucking perfect. And so Squirrely Dan, just like, nobody's paid attention. I'm just going to throw this one out there.
Squirrely Dan has a sex diary,
I love him.
and all of his women's study classes.
Yes.
So then we jump to the hockey locker room.
Hockey players.
And the boys are riffing about that the other hockey players don't dip. And so they kind of go back and forth about that. And then
is that Chris? Is that unusual for players not to chew, or is it more?
It's kind of like what was it, season 1 when their coaches call them out for being posers. That's kind of like the lifestyle. I've never played with anyone that dips. Well, maybe 1 or 2, but I know I've never dipped. I've just I've gotten my cancer the normal way through cigarettes.
right.
But no, I've never dipped. I never really played with anyone that dipped. Probably had 1 or 2, but the spitters in the locker room, it's nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
That would seem odd.
Right. I've only ever in my entire life met one person who dipped, and he was like 70.
Oh, I mean, I grew up in Texas.
In Seattle. Yeah.
I grew up in
There's a big
Texas, so there
difference.
was a lot of people who chewed tobacco. And I when I was going to high school, I had guys who dipped in class, and they got so good at it because you couldn't have a spit cup in class. They learned to swallow. Oh yeah, it was disgusting. Yeah. So yeah, that's
Stomach cancer. Woo.
yeah.
Jesus,
Gross.
fuck.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, gross. So anyway, they tell them, you know, then they said, you know, you need to get ready for our next game, and they're like, what is it? And check the schedule. We're going to the res.
Don't look at the skitty.
You got the native flu, and then which is a reference back to the Rave episode, right?
Season 1, episode 5.
Right. So we learned about the native flu. So, and I'm guessing this is a Canadian thing because I've never heard it here, and we live pretty close to a reservation.
We do, but we don't have a lot of. We don't know anybody who plays hockey.
Well, I mean, it could be. It may not just be a hockey thing. It could be other sports as well.
But we also, I mean, when I think
I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like where we are, the natives are not necessarily considered a tight banded group.
Okay.
So, I mean, we don't really have. I mean, there are reservations around, but it's not like Marysville and Tulalip and Snoqualmie and all of them. Like, there's a ton of tribes around, but it's not like I would have to ask my mom has a really good friend who lives out on the res in Marysville, and or she used to. And pretty much the only thing I would ever hear her talk about that they would get together and do would be when they were getting ready for 4th of July and they would sell all the fireworks.
Right.
And that they would all kind of come together as a community and do that. But other than that, it didn't seem like a cohesive thing.
Right.
But that's here. We're not a big hockey town, so.
Okay. Not
That'll
yet.
Change in about 2 years.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, they're putting the speaking of hockey,
3 blocks from our house.
3 blocks from our house is going to be their new practice center. There will be lots of pracky going on.
A lot of pracky.
A lot of pracky.
Doing the
Make sure to bring your
sandos.
sandos.
Hey, maybe that means that we'll actually have some variety of food and entertainment options in this neighborhood that have never been here before.
True.
And not the fancy gastropub that.
Right. So they start bugging Riley and Jonesy about having the native flu and they're what the different kinds of phobias, and we get to Boomtown. There's a pantherphobia, which is fear of mother-in-laws, but he says,
I love my mother-in-law like I love my wife.
Boomtown is by far my favorite, especially when Chris going about an only child and he just wants to be like loved. I'm like, dude, you need someone to like hold you and stroke your hair. And
Yes.
I love my wife so much.
I'm a good man.
I'm a good man.
I'm a
He just
good
gets
man.
all clutched up in a tense and just, I love my wife.
So yeah, they go through that, and then then Yorkie gets Riley.
Oh, God.
Riley into a leg lock, as a naked leg lock, as he's
Face to crotch.
face to crotch,
Face to junk.
Yeah, and so that scene ends. We go to then Riley
Immediately.
Riley and Josie coming out to the produce stand to try to talk Wayne and them into
Help.
help.
Back up.
And as Wayne gives them,
Not my pig, not my farm.
he goes, I didn't want to have anything to do. And this is not the first time
Right.
that Wayne has initially said no, and then Katie comes in and says, when somebody asks for help, when this happened with Stuart, that you give help. And he said, well, I guess I could go for a scrap.
And the other boys are like, oh, what was it? Oh no. What was the meat that Derry said first?
Venison pepperettes.
Yes. Just.
I'm
yes.
not sure what those are, but that's
You know what venison is?
I know
though,
what
right?
venison is, but I don't know what a pepperette is. Is that like a pepperoni, like a sausage or something?
Tiny sausage.
Tiny
Tiny
All right.
sausages.
That
Like
is what is why my wife is informing me. She's a vegetarian. How is that?
yeah,
That's too bad, Kelly. I'm so sorry.
hard no.
Hard to the fucking nose.
I mean, what are you going to put the fucking grill marks on, bud?
Eggplant.
Squash.
So yeah, then they were talking about, we may need backup, and so we'll get Joint Boy, and then what about
Nope.
hard no?
Nope.
It says, but then Wayne
Oh my
says,
God.
Because the ginger in boots did not fuck an ostrich.
I love so much that Wayne researched what it would take to fuck an ostrich just so. Because he's like, now I looked it up on the internet and
Right.
like talking about how they headbutt and they kick and, you know,
That
all
they'll
of that.
fight a lion and how fast they run 70 miles an hour.
And if you're driving through a drive-through safari and you feed them out of your hands, they will bite your finger. I know this firsthand.
All right, then.
Good thing you have 9 more.
Ostriches are assholes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've heard this. I've definitely
Yes.
heard this.
They look really cute.
They do. And then all of the
Allegedly.
allegedly, like how pop culture, we think of ostriches as this thing that gets scared and hides its head in the sand. But the truth is,
Which
they're
they
pretty
don't.
fucking badass. Right. They don't. They have those 2 gigantic talons in the
Yeah.
front that they like can shred.
They're probably the
Jesus,
closest
fuck.
bird that we still have that's close. That's
Dinosaur.
Near a dinosaur.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
then, all right. So then we go to the.
Oh wait,
dollar
but then
store-
Glenn
yes.
Glenn rode by on his
Oh.
bike and he heard just the last bit.
They
Just
fucked a dead ostrich.
They fucked a dead
Ginny.
ostrich.
Ginny.
And that was when he referenced Ginny for the first time since the first
Yes,
episode.
I know what the male ones are called. Look at my browser history.
Like that, the fact that she's referenced again makes it makes me want to know what kind of life they have together, because we all
we
know
just know
that Glenn
there's
is out
no.
now.
We just know that there's no vaginal intercourse.
No vaginal intercourse.
So then we jump to dollar store, and this is Katie versus Devin.
Because Katie had to go and talk to Stuart after she found out he had a giant cock. That's obvious what happened
yes.
there. She's like, Stuart.
And I'm so surprised she just didn't try to get like the one. Like, all right, maybe we should do it once.
Right?
Yeah. Well, she was surprised at it herself.
Yeah, that
they
is
did.
true. That is true.
So yeah, we had Katie versus Devin round 1 in this episode, which is a lot of banter back and forth. Then we get back to we're at the res now. We jump to the res, and Riley and Jonesy are showing up. Tanis confronts them with her big crew of natives there.
You ready for a chin check?
No, that's when Wayne.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Wayne drives up right after them.
Right after, because they start posturing toward the hockey players, and then
Yeah.
Wayne and the boys show up.
So wait, okay. And so they let Riley and Jonesy go. They Tanis says, "You're looking for a chin. You ready for a chin check?"
Yep.
And so then she comes over and asks, basically like what Riley and Jonesy were said, that they were looking for a lift of the ban of Letterkenny. And there's some talk back and forth about that, and he's like, no.
And props to this actress, because you can see that she's already like, okay, I'm gonna flirt with you. And like as they go farther and farther, and that's you're like, oh, they're gonna do it. Are
She
they gonna
takes
do
a
it?
cigarette at the very
Yeah,
end.
at the very end of that first conversation, just
Yep.
takes a cigarette right out of his hand and starts walking away. I'm like, sexual tension.
And then at the very,
That's
very
kind of tension.
yeah, very end of that scene, we have Derry being Derry again.
Eyelash, make a wish. Wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
Well, it was also when he farted.
Yes, well, yeah, that was that was just a joke, because he was like holding it in until as much as he could. So then we jump into the hockey game. Riley and Jonesy get substituted in. They jump in. Boom! Immediate fight. We go,
love that.
and then, which is, I mean, it's a very short scene. Then we jump right back to outside, and
The
they've
meat.
they've got they're setting up. They've got the barbecue stuff set up, and they send the first FBI over.
Oh, yeah.
over, which none of these guys are very big.
It was BFI.
Well,
Big fucking
they
Indian.
It went two different
FBI
ways.
was at the end.
Okay.
BFI was at first, and they're like, I don't think that's very PC,
That's
but
not very-
you said
but
it.
You said
so.
it. Yeah, fucking big Indians. So none of these guys were very big. So the very first guy, and Wayne beats his ass. The guy doesn't even get a punch in. Wayne knocks him
He
out.
took the fireball at us. I was like, whoa, that was unexpected from Wayne.
Yeah,
He threw a fireball at him, and then
no, he flicked it away.
around.
No, he brings it, because I look. He does a slow motion. It comes across his chest. He flicks it to the side, and as he's flicking it to the side, he makes the fist and comes right into the guy's face.
Ah.
So yeah, because I looked at that too. I'm like, does he flick it at him? And I'm like, no, because if you look at that in the slow motion, it's right at the very end, right before he breaks his hand forward. You can see the cigarette flinging away to the side. So no, he didn't fireball him. I couldn't see. Wayne wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I can see someone else doing that, but Wayne, that would be against his moral code.
Yeah.
Like, he likes precise rules when it comes to fighting.
Just fight.
Just fight.
Throw the fist.
He's a very honorable man.
He is.
Yes.
He is. So then he beats that guy. They go. Then we're back into the hockey game. Riley and Jonesy are bloody right there. They're sitting on the bench. Yes. Oh, they're sitting on the bench. They get put back into the game again. Immediate fight again.
Mm-hmm.
They're going.
Actually, they're sitting in the penalty box on that
Oh,
one.
is that were they in the penalty? Okay.
They're in the penalty box for the first fight, and the second they step out, boom, they
Oh,
got the
yeah.
second one.
Okay. So then they're down again. So then we're back to outside, and
Now
we're having
it's the
this-
meat
that's
conversation.
That's when they begin the steak talk, and the bird of beef and the S&P is a choice for me.
And knowing half of my family from Canada, I would be remiss if I didn't say that Alberta very much is known for good cattle,
Right.
good beef.
Because that's what
So
they have, the Calgary Stampede. So that's known for the Calgary, I guess, would be sister city of probably like similar to Dallas or Fort Worth.
yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
They have rodeos
Yeah.
and all kind. Yeah,
Exactly. So Derry and Wayne are firing back and forth,
Arguing almost.
debating the proper way to cook the meat. And Wayne gives him,
Do you want to get striked?
because Wayne, it's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes aside, right? 4 minutes total. One flip every minute.
Wayne is the flip every minute.
Right.
Derry's the flip it twice.
Right, flip it twice, and so they come to an agreement, and in the middle, right as in between each statement, Squirrely Dan is saying, "Well, you got to have the garlics, butters, and
the herbs and garlics butters."
Honestly, the best way to do it is sear it in a pan on each side for a few minutes, and then finish it off in the oven. And Wayne's like, "That sounds like overhandling to me," and Derry's like, "Yeah, it sounds like you're overhandling." And Squirrely Dan gives him,
Oh, yeah. Me and Gordon Ramsay are both morons.
Yeah, because seriously, the way that Squirrely Dan describes the steak, my mouth just started watering.
Yeah.
Like,
And
yeah,
that's how
salt and
I-
pepper, fine,
Yep.
but herb and garlic butter.
I generally when I do it, because we live in Seattle, and it's not often
Right.
quite nice enough to cook
Right.
outside. When I do,
Our barbecue gets
when-
rusty long before we get to use it more than once. Yes.
and when I do, I cook it outside on open flame with it's not coal. It's with just
Propane.
with propane and cookers. And
God damn it, Bobby! There's going to be a Necker chili under there.
so it's either that or when I cook it in the house, I do it in a cast iron skillet, sear it on each side, and then put some butter on the top because it's already
Oh
got
shit,
the
we're gonna
garlic
have to
and
have
salt.
steak for dinner. Fuck you. We're gonna.
And so and I
Herb
fed
and
it.
garlic butter.
Yep.
Yep, you season with salt and pepper.
Yep.
Pan sear it, herb and garlic butter. Throw it in the oven about 4 or 5 minutes.
Yep.
Come out. I don't have a grill because we're living in New Orleans in an upstairs house, and so we don't have a grill.
Right.
So we don't get the good grill marks, but put it in the oven. Oh, it's so juicy. It's
Yeah.
so
Oh
delicious.
yeah. Oh yeah. Because you do it over an open flame, it can be drier than a fart.
True story.
Dry it apart.
So, and then we end that scene with Joint Boys fight.
Yes.
The guy comes.
I got this. You go ahead and put you go ahead and put the steaks on the grill. I'll be right back.
I'll be right back. And he just kicks a guy in the balls and then knocks him out.
And the guy goes down. Then he
That's it.
hits him once and walks right back.
And this is and this was just so weird to me because like hoofing a guy in the balls is just that's a last resort, life or death thing. If you're
Not
trying
Joint
to do a
Boy.
fair fight-
Joint
Joint Boy doesn't care about that.
No, Joint Boy is high, and now he's been talking about steak.
Yeah, he's like, let's
He's
get this
like-
over quick so I can have some food.
He's got steaks and weed to get back to.
That's right. So that ends that fight. We jump right back to Riley and Jonesy are walking out of the rink, talking about the fight. They're even more bloody than they were, saying how he tried to fish hook me, so I bit his finger. The other one is tried to
Or they asked, did you get any good licks?
Right.
I didn't get any.
Yeah,
No,
so
but
he tried to seatbelt me, and I pinched his arm really hard.
is the 2-fight rule a real thing in hockey?
In the leagues I've played in, because I got invited to play for the difference between down south and Texas is our cities had hockey teams, not like in our individual schools. So I got invited to play for my city's hockey team, but they were like, it was $1,800. I was working a minimum wage job, living with a single parent. So I didn't get to play. But they said, no, we'll put you on scholarship. We'll drop it down to $1,400. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that's not that's not much of a scholarship.
I just played I just played adult leagues in Texas, and usually if you get one fight, you're kicked out. And
for the season or the game?
For the game.
Oh,
and you sit out the next game. And if you get your second fight in the season, then you got to go in front of USA Hockey and explain yourself why you're a bad boy.
Ooh.
Because hockey.
I was going to say,
hockey.
Does every player just like take turns going in front of this council? Because what I know about hockey, every game that I've ever been to.
Well, the only time you don't really see it is once you're getting into the championships.
True.
True. They
want to make sure that they don't get.
Nobody's getting any penalties.
Or they're trying not to.
But once you start like playing a professional level, that's when you're allowed to sit 5 minutes for your fight. But when you play just adult league, they're like, you're supposed to be adults.
Right. So, another quick question is: at the beginning of the series, they were in a junior league. Now they're in a senior league. What's because they obviously were out of high school before. Why? I mean, what's the difference between junior and senior? And
B team, A team.
It's just like a farm league in baseball where you just have all these different leagues to go up. Because you have the NHL, or what they call the CHL, which is your professional rank.
Okay.
A couple years ago, the NHL made it official that the AHL was their official farm league, and every team had their farm club. They could send their draft picks down and develop and call up. Other than that, there are a ton of leagues you can draft from. At the rink I played at, they had the NA3HL and the NAHL, which is the North American Hockey League. And it's just different ages, different skill sets. You have, if you just watch the NHL draft, you'll see the Western Canada Hockey League, just the Ontario Hockey League. You can draft from overseas. You can draft from college. There's so many leagues, and you have to make a decision on which league you go play for. Because like the Western Hockey League is all these tough dudes that are just drive the net and crash and check and fight. Where if you go to another league, it's going to be all like the very good stick scorers, silky mitts, all that. So you got to pick what league you want to go to, and if you can get noticed in that league as opposed to this league, it's just a whole bunch of leagues that the CHL can draft from, and each have the reputation. Then you have juniors and seniors that you just kind of go up with age. Sometimes, and I still can't remember it all, but even when you're a kid, you get mites, squirts, bantams, and you just go up depending on your age.
All right on. So as they're walking off, they start they get jumped for the third fight.
Yeah.
They fall down. Then we're back outside again. Tanis calls over Wayne to have a chat.
Sure, Tucker. Which one? Gonna have to be more specific than that.
It doesn't narrow it down. And so they come over and have a chat. She said, "Listen, we really need to have Letterkenny back." And she says, "Look, I want you to meet someone." She says, "Dustin." She calls Dustin over, and which is this little kid. Says, "I want to play baseball, and I don't have a glove." And you can take your mom. Your mom can take you down to I can't remember what the name of the store was, to get a mitt and so forth and so on. You go, and then Wayne says,
don't care much for kids. So.
Don't care much for kids, especially when I could just watch kids falling off bikes all day. I don't give a damn about your kids.
I don't give a shit about your kids.
So then she calls over her dad, Bubba Wally.
We got a name, a new name.
A name, Bubba Wally.
Bubba Wally
is her dad's name,
because we've seen him before, so we knew he was dad, but we never had his name before.
Right. So,
but that didn't really do much for him.
That was the rave episode as well.
True story.
So the cupboards are bare at the res, and he says, "You know what? We got plenty of produce out the produce stand. Come on out, and you can have what you want." And so finally, she calls out the big guns.
Lego.
Oh fuck! A three-legged dog.
And look, Wayne. Another three-legged dog.
honestly my weakness right there.
Yeah,
exactly.
100%.
You know, yeah. If you want to get Tiara to do something, if you get her a
Jesus.
special, if you bring a special needs dog to Tiara,
Any
She
dog,
would-
really. Any
she
dog,
would
really.
probably shoot me.
Yeah. That's,
I bought my
if it was
wife
between
a
you and the
pug.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought my wife a pug for one of her birthdays because I missed like half of them when we first started dating.
Right.
So I'm like, I've got to do something good. So I bought her a pug. And not even 2 weeks later, I get a picture of this English bulldog. And I'm like, oh no. She's cute, born 2 days after Reggie, and she's deaf. And as soon as I heard deaf, I'm like, all right, we've got a third dog.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
So
I'm not the one who wanted a
So,
third dog, though.
yeah.
I can honestly say that.
and
And someone I live with also really keeps trying to talk me into getting another puppy.
Let's go look at puppies. Anyway, so yeah, right after that ban is lifted. So they
Well, and that whole time they're threatening that there's one more
Yeah,
big
what-
fucking Indian that they haven't called yet, but they don't want to
does
call
he really
him.
exist?
And she's like, I'm not
So,
going to tell you.
The ban's lifted. Then back to Dollar Store. Katie and Devin, round 2. And Devin gets the bag of shit.
I love how Stuart tries to like hide almost
Right.
like he puts his hand up over his eyes like he can't see her or something,
Right.
and somehow that's going to stop her from seeing him.
Right. And then she
Like,
says,
oh, Jesus.
Stuart, you know, we weren't any good together, but I still like you. I think you're cool.
And he's just like,
so
okay.
she just planted that little seed, you know.
Hey, that's nicer than any breakup I've had. So I'll take it.
Right?
Then after that, we're back out at the produce stand, and they're asking Derry about, you know, so
Still
you
have a crush on Tanis?
And he goes, nope. He's like, who you got now? And she's like, Bonnie McMurray.
Bonnie McMurray.
And Katie's like, same.
Same, yeah. Then they talk about, you know, ball kicking and fights.
Right.
No, if you hoof a guy in the balls, or
Hoof a girl,
or hoof a
like when
girl.
she did Tanis. Yep.
So they have a nice chat about kicking balls, and then they start talking to Wayne about the big guy in. If that's what if he would do that, and Wayne just kind of storms off. Flash to that evening, Wayne just kind of, he's not even undressed.
I love that he was sleeping in all buttoned up, the flannel and jeans with the cigarette still in his pocket because he sits up in bed and
Right.
immediately like pulls out a
He
smoke
does the
and
reverse domino.
Jesus.
He drives out to Tanis, and
How do you know?
Does the dude exist or not?
He could not sleep.
and she comes out and says, no, he doesn't exist. You've taken out all our guys so far. And so then there's
And so I had to look this up too because there was another little throwaway comment, and I love the little throwaway ones because I know that it always means something. And when Wayne drove up, Tanis was like, "Save me an Indian taco." So I was like, "What's an Indian taco?"
I missed that part.
Oh yeah. So, but
Is it
it's
anything like a Hot Pocket?
I
could
don't
be.
think so. I'm guessing that it's a Navajo taco, which is on Indian fry bread, and it basically looks kind of like a Mexican, like what do you call the bowls?
Okay, so like a taco
bowl.
salad.
Taco salad. It kind of looks like a taco salad, but on a flat thing. Like everything's piled on top. So
All right.
that I think is what she's talking about with the Wagyu beef.
Yeah. And so
Because what do they talk about?
yeah, because then they talk about the beef and how they're making it,
And she does it the exact way, same way as
and
Wayne.
It talks about why they do it, and it's for
Grill marks, bud.
Grill marks, bud.
At the same time, she's grabbing his pants.
yep, and dragging him over for a little
Indian taco.
little Indian taco action. So
Oh,
that's
they're
where-
gonna fuck.
that's where we end up. So, thoughts, theories, questions.
Oh, okay. What is pulled a salad in the scrum?
Pulled a salad in the scrum?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That was in that the after the second fight. Well, after the first fight.
Yes.
As they're sitting in the penalty box, and Riley holds his finger up. I don't know what the fuck he's got in his finger, and he says, "I pulled a salad in the scrum."
I think it was just pulling hair.
Okay.
Okay.
Or part of his mid.
Okay.
And then the other question, hockey question, snap bombs and snaps and claps.
Snaps and claps.
There's basically three kinds of shots in hockey. You have a wrist shot, snap shot, and a slap shot. But also a slap shot is also referred to as a clapper.
Okay.
So if you're ripping snaps and claps and stuff like that, yeah, it's snapshots, slap shots, one-timers, and you're just trying to go Bardowski.
And that's where you're trying to hit it off the top bar
post and go down, because there's no more satisfying shot when you just rip one, hit the top bar, and it just shoots down faster than anything and rings around in that net.
Always Bardowski.
Oh man, it's always Bardowski.
Any other questions? Theories. So we talked about the theory that Katie is trying to maybe get back in for
at least once.
night.
At least once. She definitely suddenly became interested again, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to know if Wayne and Tanis end up doing stuff that they spent. I mean, as a woman, I totally flirt like Tanis, and I've totally flirted with a guy like Wayne who just doesn't seem to get it until you finally are like, let's do this. So I'm really curious. I mean, of course, I've seen future episodes, but
right.
My curiosity
We're pretending
is
like we
piqued
haven't.
on them.
So.
Well, I'm kind of like Wayne. We're like, you've got to be basically hitting me in the face with flirtation for me to get it.
Well, you know what? But
Dean's that way too sometimes.
But I think Wayne notices it because he's sitting,
Yeah.
that's when she did the hair pull or the hair tug or the big eyes or the
Which he's talked about before, and like you could see
Right.
in his face, like, is she really
Right.
flirting? Is this for real? Like,
well, yeah, because
he couldn't quite figure her out.
In his mind, he's probably thinking, is she flirting because she's trying to get Letterkenny back open, or is she flirting because she's flirting?
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interesting premise.
Yeah.
Why is the flirting taking place?
I honestly think it's just because she's tough as nails and he's tough as nails, and they're both attractive people.
Yeah.
That's my theory right there.
Yeah, yeah. You got Wayne going through a bunch of your guys, and you're like, okay, he's the man.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, they knocked out
He's the alpha right there.
knocks out the second guy, and she's like, ugh.
Yeah.
I was, and one of the things I like about it is, they had she obviously had more guys out there and could have had a big fight.
But they just sent one at a time.
It was just one on one.
Yeah.
So it's like she also has a bit of, that honor. I'm not gonna try to send everybody at once. It's not gonna be a Donnybrook, boys.
No Donnybrook.
You scrapping for a Tilly. So yeah, I like the juxtaposition of the Wayne and Joint Boy fighting and winning, and Riley and Josie getting their asses handed to them each time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how Riley and Jonesy just get progressively more and more bloody and beat up. And like, they even started repeating themselves after the third fight. They're saying the exact same thing they said before the second fight because they're just like dazed and like, I don't even know what's happening. And,
Right. Yeah. It's like, definitely punch drunk.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have different hockey personalities on a team. You're going to have the really tough guy who all he can do is fight. You're gonna have your scores, and there's actually a really good documentary if you guys want to check it out called Ice Guardians. Be a chance. I've acquired it, but it talks about like the personality of the goon or the enforcer, and it's a really great watch because it used to be back in the hockey you have your scorer and you put your enforcer on that line to protect them. And Riley and Jonesy are not enforcers. Yeah.
I'm not.
I
I'm
was
not
gonna
sure
say,
what they are.
they're
chirpers.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely chirping.
When I played roller derby, I met a lot of men before men's roller derby really started getting going. I met a lot of men who were hockey players or former hockey players who were now reffing for roller derby. And this is, 10, 15 years ago. And a lot of them, I had one friend in particular who I'm still friends with. He doesn't do either roller derby or hockey anymore because we're all old now. But I had this one friend who would say, yeah, they would put me in when they were trying to draw penalties. As soon as I would get in there, a fight would break out. And then they would put someone in the penalty box for me so that I could continue drawing the fights while the actual game was happening. I'm like, okay, I don't know what you just said, but that sounds cool.
So yeah, and I think that wasn't that the you've probably seen the movie The Goon.
Oh, I was going to say, check out the movie Goon. It's a great comedy. If you love Letterkenny, you're going to love Goon.
Yeah, it's with Sean William Scott, right?
Sean William Scott. Goon was great. Goon 2 was okay.
Oh, I didn't know they made a second one.
They did make a second one. But Goon was great. Goon 2 was all right. But Goon goes well into like the whole psyche and the honor among hockey fighters, and the role of the enforcer is perfectly played out right there. And the hockey coach from Letterkenny is great, and the hockey coach from Goon is even better.
It's fucking embarrassing. Fucking pheasants.
Well, I think one of the lines from Goon was, "You're going to skate till you puke. This isn't fucking baseball."
Oh, that sounds like roller derby.
Yeah. Yeah. Or two a days in a Texas summer with football.
No.
You're bringing back bad memories.
So yeah, I have to look at those. So yeah, because and actually, Jared Keeso played a coach. I think it was he did a movie where he actually played a hockey person, and I can't remember who it was now. And I think it was. I want to say it was a coach.
That came up the other day, right?
I don't know if it came up the other day or it was. There may have been a reference to it, and talking about who their favorite hockey players were of all time. I think actually that was. I think that was in the. What was the name of that? It was the season 6 actually.
Yeah, it was the
Valentine's. Yeah, when him and Stuart were sitting down.
What do you mean season 6? This is season 2. We are not going ahead and talking.
Don Cherry. Don Cherry. So now was Don Cherry was a hockey player, right?
Or was he a hockey player? But he's really famous for being a hockey commentator.
Oh, okay.
Saturday night hockey night in Canada.
Okay. That was a name that I think it even came up at some point in the first season, but he brought him up again in that Valentine's episode. Jared did play Don Cherry.
Mm-hmm.
So yep, Wrath of Grapes, the Don Cherry story too.
Keep your head up, kid. The Don Cherry story from 2010. So yeah, God, and he looks so baby right in that picture.
I still want to see. Oh my God! Now I have to go back and watch season 2 of Supernatural because apparently Jared Keeso was in that.
No, really? Well, actually, not surprised. Canadian.
No, yeah, exactly.
If you are a Canadian actor, you've probably been in one of the 200 seasons of Supernatural.
Yeah,
and can't forget his name, but the guy who plays Derry and Riley or Jonesy. Both of them are in Goon 2.
No, we've actually seen. Okay, which one is the blonde one? Because I can never remember which is which.
That's Riley.
So we've seen Riley in a bunch of stuff. He
was, The Order.
Yeah. He was in The Order, but he's been like doing cameos all over the place. We're seeing him pop up in a whole bunch of stuff. It's like, oh, there he is.
Actually, Kelly was watching The Order on Netflix the other day. I came home like, it's fucking Riley.
Yeah.
And I think Riley and Jared Kessler, they have a video on YouTube, the hockey relations, where they're just giving the same PR answers for why they lost the game or why they were caught getting a bump off a stripper's ass.
Nice.
It's like 4 lines. You got to keep 4 lines rolling all night long.
You got to have and maybe some dick dingers.
I think the other one was Descendants too, that Natalie saw and was like, oh, that's the guy from Descendants.
Right.
So
that Disney.
He was in a Disney thing that our 19-year-old knows.
The children, the children of the Disney villains, and the children of the Disney heroes are
and
going
princesses
to
and etc. Yeah.
Everyone's got a lot of homework to do before next episode.
Oh man, so. Any other? Yeah. So is that all the thought questions, theories?
I actually did have one more kind of query that doesn't have anything to do with hockey. It was just it was a side thing. It was Rolled.
Yeah.
I still find it completely adorable how Rolled tries to like act tough when Devin is being picked on or when Stuart's being picked on, but I'm really curious on why Devin is so mean to him. Because really, like, Rolled is doing these things to try and, like, make him feel better. Like they wanted you to go to that
It's-
debate,
well, it's kinda
be on
like-
the debate team, and he's like, ah.
It's kind of like when
every time.
your younger sibling would come up and try to do something and they just fuck it up. Just, shut the fuck up! You're making it worse.
But he's just so endearing, and I just like
It's just it's right after is not the time to go.
Right,
No,
totally.
you got it. Don't listen to her.
yeah.
he's like
just
the
being
little
mean to
scrappy
you.
dog next to the bulldog, and all those Looney Tune commercial or cartoons.
right.
Exactly. Yep.
You get him. You get him, Spike. You'll get him.
You'll get him next time.
Shut up. Shutting up. So
Yes,
what are we on to?
I think we're on to.
Fight, fuck, or Ferda?
Oh, my wife's in the room. I gotta be careful with this one.
No,
Well,
you
she
don't.
can join.
All right, Kelly,
So
you're joining in on this one.
And now I'm assuming you know what the fight, fuck, and Ferda is. This is kind of like Mary. What was
Mary Fuck Kill.
Mary fuck kill. So fight, fuck, Ferda is the same premise. I'm going to give you a character, and you're going to say I'm going to fight him, or I'm going to fuck him, or Ferda. So
Which most of our guests have been of the female persuasion, so we've had a lot of fuck lately, and I'm very curious to find out how this will go. Like, and I assume nothing about your identity in any way, just
Right.
that I know that you are currently married to a female presenting person. So that's why I'm curious about this.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
I usually just want to fuck everybody. So,
so we're going to start off with Wayne.
in
as
this
we- as we
episode
do.
only. This episode only.
Mhm.
Oh man, I want to say fight just because I know I'd get my ass kicked, but it'd be a good ass kicking that I would brag about later.
And
But
it would.
I've got to be friends with them because like no one seems to take a side on the steak issue.
True.
And, like I'm a salt and pepper kind of guy, so I got to, and he's a dog lover, so I got to go Ferda with Wayne.
Ferda.
Ferda.
T.
Oh, yeah. This episode, I don't know. I'm wrapped up a little bit in the sexual tension between him and Tanis because I just have loved the entire arc of them through every season that I watched. So, I don't know. He's helping a friend in need. He's, talking about cooking some steaks when I love steaks.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to fuck him.
All right.
Usually.
Squirrely Dan.
Oh, yeah. I love Squirrely Dan. Almost, except for Fart Book, I don't think there's been an episode where I haven't said fuck for him. He's totally my type. He cracks me up. I love the idea that he knows so much more than what the others do, and he's slowly just trying to inform them about things.
Mm-hmm.
I love that he watches Gordon Ramsay.
So what are we saying for Squirrely Dan?
I'll and Sam on the steak issue. Like I cook mine in the oven now, so I got to go Ferda too.
Ferda.
Berta.
You Ferda too?
No, I fucked him. I told
Oh,
you
you're
that.
okay. No, that's fine. Dairy.
Go for it, Chris.
Not a lot of dairy in this
Not a lot.
episode.
Other
Yeah,
than
not a
he
lot.
farted.
Somebody farted, yeah.
He likes to
Well-
turn his steaks over twice so that they have crisscross grill pattern.
Yeah, I think I'd have to fight him for that. I'd be with Wayne, and like I got, and plus the farting in the truck.
Yeah, that's so that was me.
Uncouth.
Right.
Uncouth.
Right, Dean?
I don't know what you're talking about.
At least
And-
when you
and,
do it, you roll down
Alabama-
the window when the car's moving.
Alabama
so.
Hot Pocket.
And plus for farting in the car and all that, I have to find just because I wish he wasn't so fucking awkward.
Right? Yeah, same.
So you're fighting him?
I would give him
I'd fight Derry.
Okay.
I would what was the word? Give him a
Oh, a chin check.
chin check. I would give him a chin check. Thank you. I'm like holding my fist up like people can see me and I'm like, I don't know what this is called. What's that thing? I love my brain sometimes.
You know the thing where you take your fist and put it on someone's face really hard and fast. That thing.
That
I
thing.
want to do that.
Yes, that thing.
It's not the punch that hurts. It's the sudden stopping.
Yeah. I just want to play a punch in the face contest.
Yes. Katie.
Oh, is the answer anything other than fuck? I mean, it's
For
Katie,
you.
Come on.
For you, you go for it.
For me, yeah. It's always.
She's
it's
hot.
Always fuck. Just go ahead and check fuck off for me.
All right.
I honestly have to say Ferda on this one because I really just want to be like, girl, just fuck him or leave him alone. Just let him be, you know? Because, like, Stuart, like, I feel so conflicted about him because I knew people very similar to him when I was younger. Most of them learned how to be human beings long before Stuart has figured it out. But just the back and forth between Katie and Stuart, and like now that she knows he's got a giant dick and she's like sniffing around him again, I'm like, girl, like, I mean, I wish my sister was on this episode because I swear to God we had that conversation before.
All right.
She and I have had that conversation before.
All right.
All right.
So
You just got uncomfortable. I
They're
love
always
it.
in a okay. So and these guys are always in a package. Riley and Jonesy.
Oh, poor kids. They seem like they'd be really easy to fight though in this episode because they're already beat up.
Would they recognize if you fought them?
Probably not.
See, for this, I think I'd have to go Ferda. I'd be that guy in the hockey team. I'd stick up for him. I'd be like, nah, you're not. Nah, stick with me.
These are my
kid.
boys.
But they're
got you.
schmelts.
I got your boys.
They're
Yeah,
schmelts.
they're schmelt, but they're still part of the team. You get
Yeah.
your first ass, you get your first ass kicking. Welcome to the team, and after that, you're like, oh no, we're gonna go.
Now you're picking on my boys. Yeah, I
Right.
get that.
I think 95% of the fights I've been in my life have been hockey fights. So
So UT,
and,
Ferda,
Ferda.
yeah, I'll take Ferda. I'll fight
Yeah.
on her behalf.
Stuart.
Oh, Stuart, especially in this one, you like. You kind of want to say fuck just to throw in a pity one.
Right? Actually, I was just kind of to say that.
All right.
Yeah.
He's
And I don't
finally
know how to
gets,
say
like,
that.
the girl of his dreams, and he doesn't get the chance. So you're like, you gotta want to throw him a pity one.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
T, you're fucking him too. All right.
Yeah. This is one.
Good for
I
you,
mean,
Stuart.
Fuck you, Stuart.
part of me is like, you know, he really needs a friend. But then part of me is like, I wonder.
It's a giant
It's a giant dick, but I'm actually not really
Not a size queen.
Definitely not a size queen, because I get freaked out by really big ones, honestly. But I wonder, like, how experienced he is if he was living with Katie and nothing happened. And
Well, because
they were
before that, he was living in his
dating.
mom's basement with
Right.
4 other meth
Does
heads.
he have any experience? Is he a virgin?
Ooh, that's
Like that's actually a good theory right there. Is he a virgin?
Ooh.
Because
Ooh.
he doesn't know how to act around when they were dating, just based on the previous couple episodes. He was always very awkward with her. He would like try to kiss her, and it would be really just like if any guy I was dating tried to kiss me the way that he would like go in for a kiss, I'd be like, dude, we are not 12. So so it makes me wonder.
Okay. Devin.
I fucking hate Devin.
All right, so
I would fight him.
we're fighting Devin.
Yeah,
All right.
for a while there I was holding out hope, but I don't like him.
Okay.
I don't like the way he treats his friends. I don't like the way he treats his enemies.
He'd be a guy you hoof in the box. Yeah.
Yes.
Because he doesn't deserve the honor of a good fight.
Let's. Oh yeah. There's a name I forgot there. Rolled.
I want to be his friend so bad. I just want to be like, baby, walk away. They're mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come, let's show you there's a better world out there.
Yeah.
It does get
whole
better.
new rolled.
Oh my God. Like, and again, jumping forward to that Valentine's episode that just,
Oh my god.
I cannot wait until we get into the more recent seasons with this show because I do love the progression of Rolled.
Yeah, and I think by the time we get to those episodes, because we may have to. I think at the end of this, and this is kind of something we should talk about. But I think at the end of this season, we should have like a season recap show. Just kind of covering all the bases, and then probably take a little bit of hiatus. But I think by the time we get into
More of a planned one than this last one.
those seasons, we're probably, because I think it's every June and every December, every Christmas, basically they put out the new episodes.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think,
Then you have your one holiday specials.
yeah. So yeah, looking forward to that. So let's see, Joint Boy. I don't know what you're gonna say.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got to fight him. You hoof a dude, man. You can't let that stand. Again, I'll probably get my ass kicked, but it's a fucking boulder. But
Yep.
either that, or be friends with them and be like, "Hey, you got some more?"
Well, right? So actually, I was going to say something earlier when you were talking about Wayne wanting to fight him just to have that story. I feel like they became friends because they fought, and now they respect each other. Like, I feel like that would happen in a situation like that. Like, it wouldn't just be like, okay, hit me because I want to tell people that you hit me. It would be like, I'm going to fucking fight you, and then we're going to be best friends.
Yeah.
Exactly. The fight will lead to the first.
I've had that happen before. So,
but for me, I'm going to sit in a car with him for about 45 minutes. And then if either of us can still stand up afterward, I'd probably fuck him. He hotboxes the car every time he's in it, and he opens the door. Out comes all of the smoke, and
it's like the Mystery Machine.
You're starting with a Furta then.
We're starting with a Furta,
and then
then we'll see what happens.
Okay.
We know what the true intentions are.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Let's see, Pastor Glenn.
Oh, you can't fight him because you know. But I would be his friend just because of all the crazy shit he says and how he says it.
Right.
Yeah.
I would 100% want to go out to like the gay bars with him.
Hey Glenn, I'm gonna take you to a gay bar.
But like, if I say we were in Seattle, if I took Glenn to the Wild Rose, it would be so much fun. And that's the lesbian bar in Seattle, for anyone who doesn't know this. That would be so much fun because he would just spend the whole time talking about how wonderful everyone looks and how beautiful those clothes are and how this one is just like, I can just imagine that. And then we'll just walk down the street to Neighbors and make fun of the straight people, and then I'll lose Glenn somewhere in the crowd. And
you gotta imagine Glenn's got to be a kind of a fun drunk. He's maybe a little bit of a pansy, so it'll only take him like 2 drinks, and he'll just be like, "All right, just let him go." And you're just following around, making sure he doesn't get arrested.
When he takes his pants off. Well, actually, in Seattle, there's no public nudity laws.
True story.
So he could be totally nude.
Naked
as a jaybird.
All right, so then we're gonna go to Bart's, Yorkie, Schultzy, Fisky, and Boomtown.
Oh, I'd fight all of them but Boomtown. Just because they're dicks to the smelts.
Yeah, they are.
But Boomtown, that dude just needs a hug.
He loves his wife, and he's a good man. He's a good man.
I love my wife. I'm a good man. I love my wife, and I'm a good man.
It reminds me of McMurray a little bit because they both kind of talk through their teeth, like.
They have anger issues,
but different kinds of anger issues, I'm guessing.
So, T.
I don't even want to be their friend in this episode because they're all such shitheads to their teammates. So, I mean, yeah, probably fight, but I know I would get my ass kicked because
you never know.
True.
And we're gonna finish off with tennis.
Oh my God. When she is holding that puppy and says Nywin,
right?
I would.
Right?
So Nywin is that what is Nywin?
It's the I forget the tribe, but it's Indian for thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because and that's not the first time she's slipped in some native language. So and I thought that might be because sometimes when you're reading the stuff on the closed caption, they're not quite right sometimes.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure.
No, yeah, that's I forget the tribe, but I know it's Indian for thank you. But
that
right. Scene right there, she's holding the dog, and I'm like, just take me.
Right.
Yeah, I like when she does the big eyes, that does it for me. Like she's, I mean, and I 100% have a thing for tough women. I mean, I fucking did roller derby for how many years? I can't even tell you. A big tough woman who I know could kick my ass gives me the big eyes. It's done. I'm over.
Well, and it's not that she's just tough. She's also a leader.
She's very much a leader.
Yeah.
She's very personality.
Yeah. So
And she knows what she wants, and she will tell you.
She wants
Like at the end, I'm going to grab you by the belt and pull you in toward me and tell you we're going to eat together and hang out now.
Yep. I'll be
Okay.
like, yes, ma'am.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. You got it. Fine. All right,
Grill
then.
marks, bud.
Grill marks.
Grill marks.
Yeah. Do you think she was listening to their conversation?
I think
That
so.
she heard the grill marks conversation?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Like,
I
Because it
just
was
didn't-
word for
they were
word
talking
what Wayne
loud
said.
enough.
Yeah.
they were heated about steak, which
Yeah.
we all are.
Yeah.
Well, and it was word for word what she said, what Wayne said. So like she was like, okay, that's how he likes it. I'm gonna tell him that's what I do for him.
Right.
Oh, the fastest way through a man's heart is through his stomach.
That's right. Between the fourth and fifth rib cage.
Thank you.
And that's why I married a vegetarian.
She doesn't mean she couldn't cook it for somebody else.
That's true. That is true.
She got those little nimble fingers, Kelly Jo does. She could just get right into the rib cages and just.
Every time I misbehave in that quick.
Kalima.
She'd be like Mola Ram from
Thank you.
Temple of Doom.
I was
Kalima.
sitting here like miming that action, and that's why he actually said it, because I was like, oh my God. Now I need to go watch Big Trouble in Little China. That's gonna happen.
All right. I don't know where that one came from. What?
The scene in that?
Mola Ram. That's from Temple of Doom.
Okay.
Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom.
What am I thinking of then?
I don't. Well, that's the scene where he reaches into the guy's
Right.
ribcage. That's from
Right.
That's
Okay.
where they have snake surprise and
What
chilled
am I
monkey
thinking of?
brains, and they probably don't have that in Canada.
A monkey's
how many-
brains.
Do you have? Would you have grill marks on chilled monkey brains?
I think you can put grill marks on anything if you're brave enough.
True. So, what are we looking forward to in the next episode? So we're getting close. This is episode 4, so we've got 2 more episodes for this season, right?
Yes.
So what are we looking for?
No, there's 7 in this
Oh, is
season.
there 7 in
Because
this
St.
season?
Patrick's Day one is in this season. So we have 3 more.
Right. We have 3 more in the season. So what are we looking forward to in the upcoming episodes?
The one thing from this episode I took was like the Wayne and Tanis thing. You're like,
Yeah.
that's gonna take a while, but that's gonna pay off.
Yeah.
You gotta get the feeling.
Right.
Yeah. And with them coming back with all the one from people from the Res coming back to Letterkenny, you're like, we'll see how that works out. And it's just this group and these communities and these characters just grow and are more interconnected, and I love it.
Yeah.
I just remembered what the next episode's going to be too.
And what's the name of the next episode?
Uncle Eddie's Trust.
Uncle Eddie's Trust. Okay. Right.
Bonnie McMurray.
Right. This is where we get into the Shark Tank.
Yes.
Bonnie McMurray.
Bonnie McMurray. And then Finding Stormy a Stud.
Just really hard.
Finding Stormy a Stud is number 6.
Okay. Right.
And that's a fun one.
Right. Because she tries to attack all of them.
They've been leading up to that one in little tiny bits here and there. And then the St. Patrick's Day one, they just basically get really drunk, right?
Right.
Okay, I remember now. Who are we going to get for that episode? Because I did not have an episode 7
Well,
on my list.
we'll have to figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yes, I'll figure it out because that's my job.
Chris, thank you so much for joining. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah. It's kind of funny because this week has been a very hockey heavy week for me because the playoffs have started. The Stars are up 1-0. I think they're playing right now, so that may have changed by now.
Who are they playing?
But,
Well, by the time this episode airs, they will have probably finished the series, just so you know.
True.
Hopefully they have won their game. Let me check right now. So I'm taking time from the hockey playoffs to come do this. So I love you guys.
And that's what we appreciate about you.
Oh, is that what you appreciate?
Is that what you appreciate about me, Dean?
Yeah.
Yes, I think if I'm
Oh, look at you, girl.
counting if I'm counting this correctly, this episode should be premiering on the 25th of April.
All right, then.
So theoretically, we will have gotten through playoffs, we will have gotten through Easter, and
All that.
when this is
All that good
when
stuff.
when people at home are listening to this. That sounds so weird when I say that.
Well, I did. We just kind of like had a big old draft party because I used to run a hockey tournament in Texas, a veterans hockey tournament. We just kind of had our draft, and we're picking teams right now. It'll be Memorial Day, so if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, go check out Night Tech Sports Arena. It's a great, and all the proceeds go to benefit United Heroes League.
Nice.
It's a great organization. I've done work for the past probably like 4 or 5 years, and what they do is they take donations with money or used hockey gear. They used to start out with hockey. They used to be Defend the Blue Line, but now they've expanded to all sports. They're very big up in Minnesota where they started, but they're branching out all over the United States and Canada.
And what's it called again?
United Heroes League. They take donations, but they basically give new pads, refurbished pads, and money to the children of military families and military members themselves, so they can have pads. And hockey is an expensive sport if you don't know.
Sure.
But pads are expensive. You grow out of them as a kid. Hockey seasons cost a lot, like I can attest to. And it's expensive. So the United Heroes League will pay for pads, seasons, camps, everything. And they pay for it all.
Nice.
And they're very big with the Minnesota Wild. I did a lot of work with them with the Dallas Stars. We were kind of in charge of doing veterans nights, and we gave like an entire glass row, like the entire glass seating was given to veterans one year. I've given tickets away to like 200 games before, and we have military families going to every game. And it's a great cause, and hopefully I'll be getting back in with them once hopefully we get up to Seattle and we start working with the Seattle hockey team, and hopefully we'll start doing that. But man, they're sponsored by almost every team in the NHL right now, has some sort of United Heroes League branch with them. But if not, just go to unitedheroesleague.org, donate what you can. It goes to a good cause. It's just keeping children in the game of hockey.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely put the link to that in the show notes and everything. So appreciate that. Anything else we'd like to plug? Or is that?
No, I just want to say go Stars.
Yep, go Stars. Until we get a team up here in Seattle, then I'll probably root for them too.
I'm actually really looking forward to being able to go to semi-regular games with it being so close.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things that I kind of regret about my physical ability. Like I don't usually have a lot of spoons to go out and do things anymore. And especially when it includes, 45 minutes plus parking plus et cetera, just to get to the thing. So the fact that I can walk to this facility from my house is going to be a huge reason why I see a lot of hockey games in the future.
Watch them practice and stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
they're going to be doing games there too.
Oh, will they?
They won't be doing like the big ones, but they'll be doing exhibition stuff. And
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh yeah. It's fun to go watch.
Yeah, it's been a while for me. So since I lived in Southern California, I saw the Ducks play a few times. So that was that was the last time
I used to see when I would go up and visit family Edmonton play or oh no, what's the Mom,
Canucks?
don't get mad at me.
The Canucks.
Well, no, it was and Kelowna's team.
Oh,
sorry. And sorry to all of my family that live in Kelowna that I could not remember the name of it. But yeah, I used to see them play all the time.
all right then.
And I've seen the Everett Silvertips a
Yeah,
few
I've never
times.
seen the Silvertips play. I've only ever gone to see pro games, pro games, NHL games. All right. Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you on again at some point. So we really appreciate you being here.
No problem. Well, me and Kelly will be coming to Seattle soon, so we'll be able to do this live in person.
Yay! Let us know when you're coming.
Definitely.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Take care now, and we will talk to you very soon.
Bye.
Talk to y'all soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, love you.
Love you too, Kelly. Thanks for listening to this episode of How Are You Now? Find us on podscure.com/HowAreYouNowPodcast or wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on Twitter and Facebook at How Are You Now Pod. Also, A big thank you to our good friend Jack Rainwater from Hard Money Saints for our intro and outro music. Check them out on Reverb Nation for deets and schedules. Take care.
Every night I said, oh